Hi, in this activity, we're going to be doing knots. And remember, this is the Asia continent, right? So we're going to be doing knots that have a connection to Asia. And normally, the knots that you're used to learning, I know that some of you haven't begun many. Some of you have got a few down already. Once you move on into Scouts BSA, knots are an important part of every outing that you go on, whether you're tying logs together to create a bridge or just create a seat perhaps, or whether you're tying up a rain fly to keep things dry. You need to use a lot of different types of knots, and there's a handful of very useful knots. This time we're going to be learning some knots that are also useful, but they're more decorative. They're more for just for having fun or for decoration. And the two knots, one of them is called the friendship knot here, and the other is called the double coin knot, what we'll be doing in just a minute. So the friendship knot is really straightforward. You can see maybe it's got a kind of a square look to it. And in fact, in Japan and in China, where this knot is very old, this knot has a name written down, and with a character that I put in your booklet. What it's first a square, and then it's a kind of a plus symbol or a cross symbol. So on the front it's a square, and on the back it's kind of crossed over. And the character that they use to describe the knot is that same shape. So kano musubi is what it's called in Japanese. And uh, and they're choosing the character because of its shape, but the character has a meaning too. So what that means is dreams come true knot. So it's kind of a cool name, right? For knot, is dreams come true. So the idea here is if you tie the knot, then your dream is going to come true. And in World Scouting, this knot has taken on a really significant importance. If you look at photos of scouts from around the world, you are very seldom going to see one with a slide like we've got. I mean, I think these are really unique to Boy Scouts of America, BSA. And instead, they don't even have like a decorative one. They'll just have the knot tied. This is just really, really common. And in fact, in some countries or in, kind of leisure activities, all you'll see is just the neckerchief on for the scout. And that's their uniform. The uniform is just the neckerchief. So I want to teach you how to tie this. It's pretty straightforward knot. I know a really interesting thing about knots to me is that you watch a magician, tie a knot, and then woo, the ropes all came apart. To me, sometimes I watch someone tie a knot, and it looks just like that. Like it might as well be magic. So I know that the instructions written down might not be enough. Watching me might not be enough. You can watch it over and over. I'm gonna do my best to show you how to tie the friendship knot and then the double coin knot after this. If it's just too difficult, one thing I suggest is that maybe you have a parent look for video on YouTube. There's lots of great videos on YouTube showing how to tie both of these knots. For this one, what you want to search for is neckerchief friendship knot, and then there'll be plenty of really straightforward examples. So this one's already tied. This is my national camping school neckerchief. So since this one's already tied, I'm going to take it off. And what you saw there is one of the benefits of having a friendship knot tied is you can just slip it off, slip it on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine that I'm a Cub Scout who just finished the wolf rank, right? I've got the wolf rank, and I've got my wolf slide, right? The neckerchief slide. And now I've moved on to bear. And although I have the bear neckerchief, I don't have the slide. So what am I going to do? You should check with your unit on this. Make sure that they agree. Your unit may have, your pack or your den may have some rules of their some special rules. But in general, in scouting, the neckerchief slide is something that you can choose on your own. So you can use whatever is handy. You can do craft projects that make fancy neckerchief slides, or you could even reuse the wrong ranks. It just feels awkward to wear the previous rank. Like you're done with wolf, right? You want to wear bear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to imagine that I'm a Cub Scout who needs to tie the bear, needs to wear the bear, and I'm just going to tie a friendship knot on it instead, right? And one thing about the friendship knot is it's normally what you'll see is one scout tying it on another scout's neckerchief. So if you learn how to do this really well, what you can do is you can help if you find a friend who like doesn't have their neckerchief slide and they're freaking out because they don't want to do the meeting without a slide. You can say, hold on, let me tie that for you, and you'll be the expert in the room, right? So what I've done is I've looped this this bear neckerchief over a few times. Then I'm gonna put it over my neck. I'm gonna imagine that I'm the bear cub, and there's two sides, right? So all there is two ends, and we're gonna take what is my right hand, and I'm going to pass it over the other and fold it back. So now I've got one end going straight through, the other one folded back. And then the left-hand side, which I sent straight through, I am going to fold it over, or under, I'm sorry to say that. Take it right again, fold it under, and then I'm going to make it go the same direction as when it came down. Because remember, it's making a square. So there's two lines going this way and two lines going this way. They need to be parallel this way and this way. So I've got down, and then I got the other one over the top. Now I've still got my hand on the other end. Maybe I didn't tell you to leave your hand on there. So maybe you want to go back and start over again and make sure you're holding on to the end there. You don't want to lose track of it. So this is the second end right over here. My right hand side, I'm going to bring it over the top. And then I need to work out a little bit more slack from my left-hand side because I need to pass it through the left-hand side. So what I'm doing is I'm working on this end, getting some more slack out. I got it a little bit too tight. And then I'm just going to take that end. I know you can't see what I'm doing here. I went over the left and I'm going through the hole in the left. And then if I did it right, what I should have now is two parallel knots. So I've got this one and this one. I've got this one and this one. And you can work it out a little bit to make it look a little bit better. But honestly, it's meant to look relaxed. And if you look at some of the examples online, you'll see that they've rolled it in advance and kind of made a nice square neckerchief going up so that it looks really great. I don't know, it's meant to be played in, right? That's what Cub Scout neckerchiefs are for, I think. So this I'm going to call a good friendship knot, and I can practice more and I can make it look just as great as my first one did with the, see how it goes two there and two there. And I'm all done with the friendship knot. So the next one up is going to be the double coin knot. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pause the video for just a second. And then when I resume, I'm going to try using an overhead view of the knots so you can watch what I'm doing and hear what I'm saying at the same time. All right, so I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, so now I've got my workspace set up here. I think you all can probably see that. And this is what our goal is going to be. Our goal is going to be to make a bookmark that you can put into your Scout handbook, Cub Scout handbook, and use to keep your place. And this is not only a single bookmark. Since it's got 4 ends, you can be in multiple places at once. Like maybe you're trying to remember the Baloo the Builder steps after you complete your wood project, and you also are trying to keep track of a few others. So that'll be the way that we use this bookmark when we're all done with it. And it's going to take us a few steps to get there. And again, don't feel embarrassed if you get lost. I'm going to be amazed, frankly, if I get through this in one piece. Maybe I'll make it. well, we've given you those. You've got 3 ropes, and your ropes might not look exactly like mine. You should have yellows and blues, but you might have a little bit thinner rope, or you might have a little bit brighter rope. There's a little bit of variety in there. So choose 2 ropes that you'd like to make into a bookmark like this. And then there's another rope for you to experiment with, for you to try out some other techniques. We talk about a compound double coin knot, which is, I think, what I've got here. There's other methods. If you look online, there's lots of other methods to try out. And also, the same bag that has the ropes has a few beads, and those beads would be to add on maybe decoratively at the end here, or if you wanted to try to slip some in at the end, in between the knots, you'd add them there. So this is just for you to, again, use to make your bookmark a little bit more personal. And one thing I'll show you is that these, again, I think there's 2 widths of rope, so it'll depend on what you ended up with. These just barely fit onto the ropes that are a little bit thicker. That's what I've got, a bit the thicker ones here. So it doesn't easily go in. But if you work on it a little bit, just kind of flatten it and work on it a little bit, it will go in there. It'll just take some patience on your part to get it over the top. I was successful in getting them on. I don't know if I want to use the whole video getting in there, but I do want you to know that I was successful, and even though it's a little bit difficult, it is possible. So yeah, if that's something you want to do, definitely spend some time getting it on there. So I want to talk just for a minute about the double coin knot. So this comes from Chinese knotting. Chinese knotting is a branch of decorative knotting, decorative knot tying. It's got its own long tradition. And this particular knot, the double coin knot, has been seen in images on pottery that are more than 2,000 years old. And we know that obviously rope tying has been used a lot longer than that. Humans have been tying knots for tens of thousands of years, but this particular one is the oldest documented knot. Maybe there's some sort of forensic knot historians that can trace back knot tying to a particular group of people, and maybe there's a particular knot that they know must have been used. But this one, because it's on that pottery, is the oldest documented one, which is, I think, is pretty cool. So we're going to be tying the same knot that we know for 100% certain was tied 2,500 years ago at least. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to untie this because I'm going to retie this same knot. And again, what I want you to realize we're working towards is the same, like 2 ropes going through this same pattern. And the way we do that is going to be to tie the first one and then feed the second one in afterwards. So first, let me untie this, and you kind of maybe get an idea of how this works while you watch me untie it. All right, I've worked out one of the knots already. See, it's not that complicated. It's just got a couple of moves to it, right? And honestly, when I tie this, I am going to be following along the same instructions as I gave you, because I'm confident that I can tie that successfully. I've done it unsuccessfully many times, and I've successfully done it a number of times as well. Recently, it's been all success, so I'm gonna be confident in myself and believe that I can do this one successfully. If not, you're gonna watch me pull the rope to see if it fits. It's all gonna fall apart. That's what happens when you got it wrong, when you just don't have a knot at all, right? So in your packet, I'm really hopeful that the print came out clearly enough that you can tell what goes over what. So I've got my my A end here, and my B end here, and I'm going to take A and feed it over B, right? Just like it shows in the picture. And then I'm going to take A and I'm going to loop it over the top, making sure that you guys can see that, over the top, and then over itself. Then the next step is to take the other end, the B end, and go over the end of A and inside of this loop that's sitting up here. Let's go through that. And it shows it kind of dangling out here, but this is just kind of, just means get it through there, right? Get it through there. And then the next step, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick that up again. So we just left it there, we're picking it up. And again, like there's a bunch of really expert knot tiers on YouTube. And when you see them doing this phase, they're saying go over, go under, go over, go under, go over, go under. So we just went over here. We're going under, I mean, you can watch back here, we went under, right? We went under in this spot. This rope goes under and then goes over and it goes under. So the next thing is we're going to do is we're going to go over here, over this one, and then under this one, and then out. And when I pull on this, it should all stay together and make double coin knot. And you know, I'm going to want to make this loop a little bit shorter. It's pretty long right now. And so I can just pull it through again, and then pull it through on the other side, pull it through again. And what I want to be careful of is it really the same length? It looks like to me this one's a little bit shorter. So I'm just going to work on that one a little bit more. I'm going to pull that one up here and I'm going to pull it down. See how they're doing now. That one could use a little bit more even, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this back a little bit. Pull this through. Just work it until I feel good. See, it's got the knot on it right there. That's the double coin knot right there already. And you could use this just the way it is. This is actually really is a useful knot. You could use it the way it is. Now I've got a loop on this end and I've got two loose ends. So what do I want to do? I want to tie this against something and then tie this to something else. I don't know. That would totally work, right? A lot of ways to get this done. But if you pull it too tightly, it gets a little bit cinched up. So we want to leave it loose so that we can get the other rope through. How do I feel about this? Is it? This one's a little bit short. I don't remember if it's the same one as before, but I'm gonna pull a little bit more for that one. I feel like this is the other side. Now the other side is a little bit too short. Okay, this looks good to me. I'm gonna loosen both of these at the same time. Okay, can you all see that? So now I've just got a little bit of a loop at the end. I've got my coin knot here ready. And I'm gonna take my other rope, the yellow one, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna feed it through. I can choose whichever side I want. And once I choose a side, I'm just gonna stick with that side all the way through. See, I've got it going through there. It's magic, right? I'm the magician now. Sometimes I can surprise myself with the magic tricks. Send that through, pull it, right? It's gonna need to be about half of it, right? Put some more. I guess I could double check. Oh yeah, it's quite a bit longer. I can adjust this later on, but I want to get it close to right, so I'm not doing too much rejiggering at the end. You see what I'm doing? Just clear on there. I'm keeping it right next to that the blue rope that I went in with. But I made a mistake there. Yeah, just gotta make sure it stays with the same blue rope. Yellow one next to the blue one. You might have two blues. If you have two different shades of blue, you can do two blues, or you can just the same shade of blue. You might have two yellows, whatever you like. And if you know, if you're done with this and you think, you know what, there's a different color I'd really like to do, maybe you've got another one at home that you could try with. But you know, at least when I was in scouting, most of our ropes were cut to 10 feet length. That would make a very long bookmark if you made a 10-foot long bookmark. These are 3 foot. These are about 3 foot. Some of them, they were all cut to about the same length. Some of them were cut with a meter stick, and some were cut with a yardstick. So honestly, you're gonna find that some of them are about a few inches longer than the other, and then some of them were just not, just kind of approximately cut. Can you see what I'm doing here? I'm just going around and around and around, following the blue guy. all the way around. It's the easy part, right? I'm going around. If I wasn't talking, I'd be done already. Maybe you're done already. I'm wondering why I'm still going here. Okay, so now, isn't that prettier? It's got a nice contrast in color. It's got the kind of loops of the double point knot. Got a decorative end there. I might have some beads on the end. I didn't stop to put any on though. Wasn't sure if you had patience to wait for me. Hopefully you paused me and put your own on though. And then this is where things get kind of amazing, I guess, is we're gonna tie another knot. Remember there was 2 knots on there before, so I'm gonna kind of spread out the yellows, because remember the yellows are just gonna feed through next to the blues afterwards, right? And I'm gonna take these 2 blues, and what I need to imagine is, I'm gonna go back to the beginning of my instructions. I'm gonna imagine that this is the upper loop. Remember there's an A rope and a B, an A rope and a B rope, right? And then forget about the fact there's a knot up there. Imagine this is just the loop at the end of the rope. And you have the A knot and the B knot. What you need to do is you need to do this all in reverse. That's the tough thing. So you need to reverse the whole thing. And I tried just flipping over the instructions, hoping that maybe was enough to get you going. But you need to make the loop on this side this time. Since the loop was on this side, now it needs to be over here. So I'm going to take A over B, but A is going to be at this side this time. And then I'm going to loop it back. Let's see if I can do this. This is the difficult part. I pulled it off once before. You saw me. I had that done. And then remember the over, under, over, under. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take this one. I'm gonna go over. Remember, I just came. It's under right now, so I'm going over. And I'm gonna go under this other part. I'm gonna hold the rest of the rope together so that it doesn't go flying. Maybe you need a second pair of hands. You can get someone to help you. Totally fine. So now I've gone under, over, under. The next step is to go over and under and out that little loop. And whenever I make a mistake, it's because I don't go out that little loop. And when I pull, that loop is still loose and it all comes apart. But you can see I did it. I managed to pull it off. And if you can see, because we reversed it, this one comes out from underneath and it goes underneath again. And that's, I think, if you didn't reverse it, it would look fine. It would just be a little bit twisted. And I really wanted it to look this way. And now we've got all this extra slack that we need to pull up. So I'm gonna slowly work that slack away. Just pull it out. The other side, same thing. Pull it out. And then remember, don't make it too tight because you got to feed the other contrasting color through. So I've got it kind of loose. Take this one. I'm going to feed it up. And it's going to be just going right alongside the blue. And the blue goes underneath, so the yellow is going to go underneath next to it. And it goes around, and it goes over here. Remember last time we fed it all the way through the whole knot, but this time there's two ropes involved. So we're gonna just go alongside the one that the yellow is next to already. So it comes out here, it went through all the way with it, right? And now it's done. A little bit shorter. Yellow was cut a little bit shorter on this one, right? And then here's my other yellow. And you can see that it came out with this blue. So it needs to follow that blue the whole way through. So it's going to go down through there. Can you see that? I hope that I'm not going too fast. I hope that's clear. All I'm doing is just going around following it. Following it up. Where'd it go? Where did that blue rope go? It goes out and around. It goes down through here. and it comes back up to get a little bit of slack. So it can go down, it's back up there, and then it needs to go back down here. Just following that blue rope all the way around. Yeah, came all the way through, and I got some different lengths, right? So I need to, I can work the yellow rope around so that it comes out the same on both sides. My memory was it was about the same before, so it could just be that this one's a little bit tighter than the other. Maybe I can just work it through a little bit. Don't want to just yank on it or else only the end won't become tight. I can see that there's a lot of slack up here in this one, so I definitely need to pull that out, all that looseness out. I think that's the same one that's too short down here on the end. Yeah, that's, you know, I can keep working it out a little bit, making everything nice and firm and uniform. But I think it's good enough the way it is. I got 4 ends. I can stick the whole thing right in my bear book. And I'm ready to go. I can make it stick out a little bit and use 4 bookends, however I want to do it. That's it for the double coin knot and your bookmark. I hope that you get a lot of use out of it and you enjoy telling your friends about the Chinese double coin knot that you tied and how this is the oldest recorded knot in human history, and you are now part of that history. And I hope that you had a great time doing Chinese knotting and learning the friendship knot that World Scouting Organization really features. When you're older, you're going to go to a jamboree and you'll have the opportunity to get to exchange neckerchiefs and have the friendship knot tied in it. Great. Hope you had fun and enjoy the rest of the Cub Day Camp Express.